In the beginning, before time knew its name, there was only the one above all and the dark tapestry of eternity. From that primordial void emerged beings of immense power, entities born, not of flesh, but of forces that whispered through the very sinews of creation. Among them, Galactus arose as the Devourer of Worlds, once a mortal named Galen of Tar, transformed by the cosmic cataclysm that ended the sixth universe and birthed the seventh. He became a necessary force, a cosmic balancer, consuming planets not out of hunger, but to maintain equilibrium in an expanding, chaotic multiverse. But while Galactus was a titan of necessity, another being emerged not from chaos but from accident. In another universe, designated Earth DC by some, watchers and monitors, a human physicist named Jonathan Osterman was torn apart by a nuclear accident. Instead of dying, he was reborn outside the constraints of linear time and human limitation. He became Dr. Manhattan, a godlike figure capable of manipulating matter, seeing time all at once, and traversing the multiverse with a thought. For eons, their paths never crossed. Galactus roamed the Marvel multiverse, harvesting energy from dying worlds. Dr. Manhattan, on the other hand, remained distant in the DC multiverse, only intervening when the fate of universes required his presence. But the walls between realities were never as stable as they appeared. Something began to stir in the abyss. Between multiverses, an uncharted dimension neither Marvel nor DC, it was a dark frontier filled with broken time, corrupted matter, and lost echoes of creation. There, an ancient intelligence known only as Nullentropy awakened. It was the decayed thought of a forgotten, cosmic entity, a being that sought to consume all stories, all timelines, and all existence until only silence remained. Nullentropy did not devour like Galactus or reconstruct like Manhattan. It simply erased. No remnants, no memories, just absence. Galactus, sensing the anomaly from his position near the Shi'ar Empire, grew restless. It was not just a planet being threatened, it was reality itself. Even his herald, the Silver Surfer, returned from a reconnaissance mission visibly shaken, his chrome skin dimmed with dread. The stars themselves are falling into unbeing, the Surfer whispered. Entire histories gone as if they never mattered. At the same time, in the watchtower beyond the 52 known universes, Dr. Manhattan observed the same anomaly. For the first time in his timeless existence, he felt uncertainty, an emotion long lost to him. He reached into the bleeding barrier between his reality and others, tracing the source of the corruption. Their destinies collided in the Lost, the sector, the one region unclaimed by monitor or watcher, beyond the bounds of either universe. Galactus entered through a rift forged from compressed starfire, his massive frame outlined by the death of galaxies. Dr. Manhattan materialized within a glowing sphere of crystalline time, each footstep resonating like a hymn through forgotten dimensions. At first they did not speak. Galactus, towering and immense, surveyed the blue figure before him, a being unafraid, untouched by entropy existing in all times at once. "You are not of this reality," Galactus rumbled, his voice like thunder echoing across collapsing dimensions. "And yet you are tied to this threat." Dr. Manhattan looked up calmly. "I see 10,000 possible endings. In most of them, everything ceases. Nullentropy consumes even my memory of existence. And in the few that do not end?" Galactus asked. "In those," Manhattan answered, "we fight." Galactus narrowed his cosmic eyes. "You challenge me?" "No," said Manhattan. "I join you." But Nullentropy was not patient. Its arrival cracked the walls of the sector. Time bled in reverse. Light inverted itself, and reality began to rewrite the beings standing within it. Galactus felt his hunger mutate. He began to crave not worlds, but ideas. Dr. Manhattan, usually untouched by emotion, began to feel fear that he might forget even himself. To stop Nullentropy, a plan was devised. Dr. Manhattan would build a stabilizing framework using collapsed moments from his own timeline, anchoring the sector in temporal equilibrium. Galactus, meanwhile, would attempt to devour Nullentropy's central mass, consuming the void with the raw might of his cosmic essence. But the plan faltered. Nullentropy fed on paradoxes. It grew stronger by the second, rewriting truths before they were spoken. It showed Galactus the death of the first cosmos again, and this time, Galactus saw himself causing it. It showed Dr. Manhattan a future where he became the very thing he sought to stop, a mindless void, stripped of identity. When the temporal framework shattered and the fabric of their plan unraveled, both beings knew there was only one solution left. They had to destroy each other before Nullentropy could rewrite them both into non-existence. A war of gods was now inevitable. The multiverse trembled in anticipation. The battlefield was no longer a place, but a thought, a paradox loop, suspended between destroyed timelines and forgotten realities. The One Galactus descended into this fractured void as a living storm of entropy and creation, his body no longer composed of mere atoms, but of conceptual gravity. His presence caused laws to rewrite, themselves cause and effect, folded in on each other, and reality bent like glass under pressure. Dr. Manhattan floated before him, glowing with the calm radiance of a god who saw the end from the beginning. Around him danced clockwork symbols, echoes of infinite. Timelines collapsing into one, the fabric of his being pulsed in rhythms unseen by mortals, a heartbeat synchronized with existence itself. But Nullentropy was already adapting. The void around them twisted and mutated, feeding on their presence. Each thought they had, each memory they shared became corrupted, reformed, erased. Soon Manhattan's childhood faded. Galactus' memory of Tar dimmed. Even the idea of victory began to decay. "There is no more plan!" Galactus thundered, his voice collapsing stars in the distance. "Only survival." "Then let us make this moment eternal," Manhattan whispered. And the battle began. The One Galactus unleashed the power cosmic, not as a beam or blast, but as a cosmic command. The phrase "let there be end" echoed, and planets began to birth and die in Manhattan's path. But Dr. Manhattan raised a single hand and froze the event, splitting the timeline into 1,000 forks and choosing the one where the blast never happened. In response, Galactus ripped the concept of choice from reality, momentarily binding Manhattan to a single fixed moment in time. But the blue god smiled. With a flick of his fingers, he rewrote the timeline from the outside, rewriting Galactus' action as hesitation. Reality bent again. They clashed in a spiral of annihilation and rebirth. Galactus devoured failed futures. Manhattan rewrote outcomes. Galactus consumed the very possibility of Manhattan's victory. Manhattan turned Galactus' hunger into guilt, weaponizing his own ancient remorse. They were no longer beings, they were ideas at war. As the combat escalated, the multiverse began to fracture. Marvel universes blinked out. DC realms folded into ink and vanished. The Spectre, the living tribunal, the presence and the beyonders, beings of nearly infinite might, looked on from their perches. Beyond time, unable to interfere, afraid their involvement would fuel Nullentropy further. The One Galactus reached into himself and summoned the totality of his merged selves. Galactus, the World Butcher. Galactus, the Life-Bringer, even the version that had devoured the Phoenix Force. He became a towering chorus of hunger and harmony. Dr. Manhattan, in response, dissolved his form, spreading his essence across all moments of existence. He became every version of himself, from the cold god on Mars to the man who once fell in love with humanity. Then they met one last time at the center of Nullentropy, where meaning itself had ceased. Galactus struck with the accumulated might of every cosmic act he'd ever performed. Manhattan responded not with power, but with a final sacrifice. He unraveled his form entirely, offering himself as a paradox seed, a quantum constant that even Nullentropy could not consume. His being fractured time enough for one clear instant, a single, pure window where Galactus could strike not at the void, but at its source. Galactus understood. He spoke a final decree: "I devour the silence." And with that, the One Galactus absorbed Nullentropy's core, not as a being, but as a concept, destroying it forever. The explosion shattered the Warthought realm. Dimensions groaned. The multiverse re-knit itself one strand at a time. In the aftermath, Galactus stood alone in the infinite silence of restoration. Dr. Manhattan was gone. No trace, no return. Only the memory of a being who chose mercy over power, purpose over pride.